This podcast is brought to you by Most Valuable Podcasts, saving your day from boredom with the best podcasting entertainment.
Wubba lubba dub dub, everybody. Ricky Widmer here, along with fellow man-child Johnny Karlic.
Hey everybody, how's it going?
And today you might be noticing, guys, what's up? Where's WPN? What's up? There, we got it going. But
There you go.
I had to change it up this week because, Johnny, what do we have? What came out?
Rick and Morty, 9 new seasons.
9 new seasons
More
and Szechuan sauce. But we got season 3's trailer. And
Season 3.
welcome to the Rick and Johnny podcast here on Most Valuable Podcast. And what we're going to do, we're talking about some topics today. We're going to be showing up for the Rick and Morty season 3. We're going to react to the trailer. We're going to look at Jumanji. Will it be a good movie? Jumanji. And then we're going to take a look at the Fantastic Four, kind of a follow-up conversation to some news that happened with Fox and what me and you talked about with should they basically do what Sony did with the Spider-Man and do that with Fantastic Four.
Yes.
But we are going to start, and the reason why I'm getting through everything nice and quick is we got to react to a trailer.
Yes, we do.
Season 3, Rick and Morty, coming out later this month, July 30th. And Johnny, in the trailer, Rick even says this is going to be the darkest season yet, and it looks, from the trailer, like this could be a pretty dark season for Rick and Morty.
It looks way darker than anything we've seen before. I mean, very hilarious, but it looks like it's going to be a lot darker, especially like one scene in particular. It keeps going through my head when I think of that, and that's, please kill me.
And Summer.
Sure, but not because you told me to. Bam!
And she just and then Rick goes, "Wow, that is dark."
Nope. It's getting darker.
It's getting darker. And that is the exact scene that I was thinking of in my head.
Yeah.
You know what? I'll just get to it. We'll start with this because you kind of referenced it in that. Through this trailer, yeah, I know they said that Summer's going to play a more important role on the adventures, but Summer is going to be a huge part of this season, it seems. Like, she is going
Pun intended.
She is going to be, because she gets, I think she's normal, but that's the one thing I noticed. That was one of them was, wow, Summer is going to not only be a part of this season, but she is going to be, there's going to be a dark side to Summer.
Yeah, we're going to see a lot more of a dark side now.
With Rick and Morty, Rick and or Morty, where exactly what you said. The please kill me. Sure, but not because you told me to. Shoots his head off. We get Big Summer. We're having a dual Summer with her and Cyborg kind of Summer in one of the scenes. It looks like she is going to play a huge role in this season, and I can't wait for it. I can't wait to see more of her.
Beth is playing a bigger role too now. She's actually more involved in the hijinks, as I'm going to put it.
You got to think about that, and this is where I think that plays into it.
Yeah.
Jerry's gone at the beginning.
For the most part,
At the beginning, because he shows up in the trailer.
He does.
Which is weird. We'll get to him in a second, but he's gone. Like episode 1, we've seen he's gone. He's got kicked out of the house.
Yeah.
So what are Beth and Summer going to do? What are they going to do?
They're going to
get
join
involved
in,
with Rick and Morty.
Well, Summer already started, so I mean, why not have Beth join in on it too? She's missed so much stuff with her father that she doesn't care what he does. He's home now.
Yeah.
So she's just going to take part in it and go along with it.
No, exactly. And another thing that I love about this, we got our tiny Rick.
Yeah.
It's Pickle Rick.
Pickle Rick!
And that's another thing that I noticed and everyone else probably did, because in the Comic-Con footage from a year ago, we saw that. We got to see
in little sketch drawings.
Yeah, the sketch drawing of him with the rats. He needs the rat brain. We see that. Him popping out of the toilet now with the rat head on.
Rat helmet.
We see him kind of punching through, him running away from some federal agents while they're shooting at them. And already through this trailer, I have not theories, but questions about what is going to happen. You have that. Well, why did he become Pickle Rick? What does he need to do? Why is he there? Why is he getting out? Another big one, and this kind of leads to two questions. The first one is, are we going to see a second Rick and Morty? And who in the trailer is the real Rick and who's the real Morty? Because in the trailer, we see Green Rick and Green Morty, and it looks like they're on the Cronenberg planet, the planet that Rick screwed up originally with his love potion number 9. And they're there, and he says, well, it's going to take a lot to kill Rick and Morty. Oh, that might do. That's one of my questions. Is Rick and Morty going to die, and is this where they end Rick and Morty? And number two, when Green Rick and a regular Rick are fighting, which Rick are we cheering for?
Yeah.
Which is the Rick that we've been following, if any of them?
Well, same thing's happening with Morty. You see very briefly that he's both they're like fighting over control of the flying car, and that's the question: is who's the one to root for? Who's our real Rick? Who's our C-137 Rick?
Well, that question automatically is kind of all confused because we don't even know if we're following that same Rick anymore.
To me, I think we are. That's what my brain goes with until I see otherwise.
Johnny's like I don't want to hurt anything.
I don't want to hurt anything, and I want it to be this is C-137 unless I see complete confirmation it's not.
And we also get it looks like Rick and Morty are going to be a part of a team this year.
Yes.
Because we get they're calling us. No, let it go to voicemail, Morty. I don't take the literal call to adventure. Which to me was like, that was the best part. I don't take a literal call to adventure. No, he just wants to do it spontaneously. But yeah, they're also going to be on a team because even when it's a close snapshot of them with other people, if you freeze it, the jackets that they are wearing, Morty has the same jacket with the same V. Now, that could be just one episode.
Maybe.
Or it could be over the entire series. But we do know for at least one episode, they're going to be working with a team.
The Vindicators.
The Vindicators.
The other thing I'd like to point out that we get a nice big reference to Mad Max.
We do.
And a bunch of scenes in this one.
The two that I kind of saw were Mad Max and then the scene where Morty had the big arm and he was just choking the guy.
Yeah.
Part of me was like, is that Game of Thrones? Is that a Game of Thrones-esque, like, room that they're in?
You know, it kind of looks...
the tub that he's in, it could be alcohol, but, like, the bottles that you see on the mantle that Rick is kind of going through, I'm like, that kind of looks like a room from Game of Thrones.
Kind of does. We'll have to wait and see on that one, because it was fairly brief, more so sexual reference.
A little bit. Don't worry,
don't let me interrupt you.
Yeah.
I'll look away.
But I mean, to me, it looks like Rick and Morty, this is going to be the season where it's not just going to be about their relationship. We're going to focus on everyone on the outside.
Yeah, the whole family now. And how all that ties in together more so.
Well, and even like Jerry.
And Jerry's going to be in there. Seems like maybe a little bit less, but he's still going to be in there because get a scene where Rick and him are riding on a roller coaster together. So,
and here's the thing I heard about that because I watched my own kind of like little videos from the YouTubers that I watch, and from what it looks like is that roller coaster is in like a Jurassic Park type of a space where it's like an amusement park, but it looks like there's all these different creatures on the outside. So they're in the glass enclosure we can observe what's on the outside, but really it's to keep us safe from the creatures on the outside. And it looks like, and here's the theory that they had that I'll kind of introduce here, was the roller coaster looks like Jerry's not having fun. Rick is. Okay, that's normal. But when the roller coaster goes off the tracks, it crashes through the dome, and the one thing that he proposed, Emergency Awesome was who I was watching, he said that maybe this is something where Rick is made the thing malfunction so that they would go outside and he could kill Jerry by having him have an accident with one of the creatures on the outside.
It could very well be possible.
Because you think about it, like Rick got mad at Jerry, Beth got mad at him, kicked him out. I mean, why would you really invite him back into the household, basically?
Yeah, your lives in that
especially when it already seems like Rick and Jerry don't get along anyways.
Exactly. That's it's very possible. Maybe he is trying to get rid of Jerry completely instead of just, a guy kicked him out of the house now. Yeah,
and that's where, what do you think? Like, overall, with Jerry, we see him in the trailer. He's kicked out episode 1. Give me your prediction for what is Jerry's arc going to be?
I think he's just going to be a minimum role. Just for the fact that, I mean, you still have to have him around because he's dad. But
what if they bring in a copy?
Oh,
You know what I'm saying? Because they have the nursery. Okay. Spitball.
The Jerry.
Spitball in here off the top of my noggin. They already have the nursery of Jerry's, correct?
Yeah.
And we already know from that episode, it seems like the Rick and Morty we've been following didn't take their original Jerry when they left.
Okay.
The same Jerry that they dropped off was not the same one that they left with.
Picked up, yeah.
What if they just go back and get another one?
Grab one of the other Jerrys?
I could totally see Rick using it as like a Jerry rental. Where it's like, well, that one didn't work. Let's see if this one works.
Yeah,
because
the only
Beth
thing
is getting sad.
The only thing with that too is I think Rick would be smart enough to just get the other Jerry back as opposed to just
Messing up timelines. Messing up alternate universe or alternate dimensions.
Not just that, but also the fact of, you need a ticket to get the Jerry out. He already has his Jerry, so
True.
I mean, it's not like you can just go and grab another Jerry. There are Jerrys that have been abandoned there.
True.
So,
or if he goes to another universe and grabs another Jerry and just grabs him.
yeah, I think he
Drops his Jerry off, leaves with the other one.
I think if Rick is smart enough to create a believable
Alibi.
face, no, I was gonna say to create a believable memory and an original origin story, he's smart enough to trick Jerry to coming back if he wants, if it's needed to be.
Do you think at the end of the season Jerry is back and is the father figure of the household?
I'm gonna wait on that one, and I'm not speculating anything on that. I'm just more excited about the episodes in itself.
What do you think's going to happen with Rick and Morty?
Just a lot of hijinks.
Just a lot of just crazy random adventures.
Yes and no, same development as we got before. Maybe a little bit of Phoenix person now.
I can't wait to see Morty's role.
Yeah.
Because Morty, we've seen him over the 2 seasons get a little bit more independent.
Yeah,
a little bit
that
more.
too.
And this has been talked about in numerous videos where it's like when Rick's not around, he actually knows what he's doing. And he's like, no, this isn't going to happen. And he's a little bit more outspoken. When Rick's around, it's, I don't know what to do. And then shoot.
Rick.
And he acts more on impulse than he does actual knowing what to do.
Here's the thing I'm thinking is slowly and surely, Morty's getting smarter.
Yes.
Possibly to the point of eventually being...
which naturally happens as you grow up and mature.
Yeah, but I'm almost feeling like he's getting like... Not Rick smarter exactly, but pretty close to.
So, like, are we talking book smart or street smart?
Kind of both.
Okay.
The same Rick smart.
Okay.
He's not necessarily book smart, but book smart somehow on the genius level. Seems like Morty's slowly getting to that level. I mean, I'm curious to see if he's the one like with the making summer bigger thing, how that's working out, because him and Beth are using the machine.
That's what I was gonna say.
And that's kind of weird because he knows how to use the portal gun. All this, like at the first
and Summer has
pilot
the portal
episode
gun.
of it.
Summer has the portal gun in her hand in this trailer.
Yeah, well, that's from the pilot episode.
True.
So that's like when they take it from Dead Rick's grave.
Yeah.
They then Morty takes it, dials it to the right one. Because he did the same thing Summer was about to do. She was about to just go randomly flipping through. Somehow Morty knows how to use the portal gun. Maybe he's just getting a bit smarter, and it's not going to do it right away, but it seems like he's getting smarter and smarter. And you're right about the more independent thing. He's also getting a lot more like Rick in some senses, in the point of like, if he doesn't do it all the time, but if he gets upset, he does lash out on people. Like
Gene.
Is everything going okay over there?
Mind your own goddamn business, Gene.
Exactly.
Like that alone, I wish I knew someone named Gene, only because I'm a horrible person. And every time they would say, hey, how's it going, Ricky? Mind your own goddamn business, Gene. That's all I would say to them.
You just have to hope they know Rick and Morty.
The only Gene I know isn't in real life. It's in Bob's Burgers.
Yeah.
That's the only Gene I know. The only one. I do not know one single Gene in real life. So I can never use that line.
Yeah.
Like,
not yet.
It's like after I saw The Big Lebowski, I wish I had a friend named Donnie. Just so, like, when he talked, I can say, shut the fuck up, Donnie.
Shut the fuck up, Donnie.
Dude, Donnie, the dude is talking. Are you even listening to the dude's story,
Johnny.
Donnie. I almost said Johnny. Oh, that could be tricky. I could start putting your name.
He might start doing it to me now.
I won't.
He
But
will.
Any last kind of thoughts or anything you think we missed from this trailer before we move on into Jumanji?
Nope. I'm excited about Pickle Rick. I'm excited about
Pickle Rick.
I'm just excited about everything in this new upcoming season. I just can't wait for it to come out. July 30th, I believe.
I can't
right?
wait. Like
July.
I'm so glad it's after Game of Thrones. Will be like I think
Kinda
it's what
set in.
two episodes into Game of Thrones.
It will be coming out, I think, third episode of Game of Thrones.
Okay, so it won't
third or
interrupt
fourth.
our Game of Thrones-ish stuff too much.
Not too much.
But those Game of Thrones episodes might be a little bit later because we'll have to watch that Rick and Morty episode.
Oh, we'll have to catch that.
It'll be Game of Thrones into Rick and Morty and then recording our Game of Thrones videos because we got to do those episode reactions for our peeps out there. But this is where you guys come in. I'm going to flip the discussion onto you guys. We've talked enough, just general conversation about the trailer. What do you guys think? What are you excited for season 3? What did you notice in the trailer that we didn't mention? And what kind of questions do you have coming into season 3 of Rick and Morty? Let us know down below in the comments section. But Johnny, we are going to move on into our next topic, and we are talking about Jumanji. Welcome to the jungle. Or you could just say Jumanji 2. That's what I think of it in. And we're going to be talking about our thoughts from the trailer, but really answering the question of, is this going to be a good movie? And before we get into that, I got one thing. One thing I have to get off my chest, Johnny.
As usual.
Here's something I don't get. Maybe you guys out there
I don't either.
can
Just
help.
to put a note on this, I don't get this either.
Maybe
we
you
both
can,
have the same problem.
Maybe you can help us because here's my thought. It's a board, or it was
a board game in the original Jumanji.
Let me talk through this really quick.
Yes.
It was a board game, and now it's a video game. And that alone, I'm like, okay, two things. One, we have seen things that, okay, it was a board game, that's a video game. That's just how time works and how generations work. Number two, I can see why you're doing that because it's a younger demographic, and kids these days, although we have board games like Monopoly, they don't have the same connection.
They mostly play video games.
As maybe they did 10 years ago, like when we were kids when this came out.
I'd rather play Risk on the PS2 than opposed to the board game.
Because, you got to get
all those
a ton
tiny
of
ass
people.
pieces.
Well, and you got to get 6 people there.
Yeah.
On the PS2, you can just throw it in and play
Generate
against the
them, yeah.
computer. Here's the thing I don't get. How does the curse go from the board game to the video game? Is it just interchangeable and anything named Jumanji has the curse?
Well, then how come your board game doesn't?
I know exactly. You want me to tell that story, don't you?
I wanted him to tell that story. That's why I brought it up to you guys.
Story time with Papa Widmer here. So here is the story. I am about 7 years old, I want to say. Look up for me when the first Jumanji came out.
Yeah,
I want to
you got
say I
it.
was 7, 8, 9. But the point is, I had the board game, and I was petrified of the board game.
1995.
So I was 5. Yeah, I was 7 because I didn't see it right when it came out. So 5, 6, 7. Yeah, and I think the board game came out after. So around that time. See, I'm close. But I was petrified of the game. And this was the board game that had the cards that you had to put under the center.
To see what they said.
And
I remember
to see
that
what
one.
it says. And I hated it. I could not stand the game. Like, I was afraid to play it because I thought I'd get sucked into the game. I thought that if I played and we lost, we would be sucked into the game. Another thing I thought
Imagination
was
of a
that
child.
thing would come to life. So if it was a lion, I didn't want my house getting messed up. So I never played it. And I had to lock it away somewhere because I would look at it and all I would hear in my head is dun 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 dun. I would just hear that music over and over and over and over. And the one day my dad's like, we're going to play. And I'm like, well, I don't know. He goes, I promise nothing will happen. So I'm like, okay. It's me, my dad, my sister, and Dave who were playing it. And we lost. And as soon as we lost, my dad starts hitting the lights without me noticing, and all 3 of them start going, oh no, and my sister and Dave are running around the room like, we're getting sucked into the game. I bolted out of there immediately, ran around my house, woke up my mom saying, Mom, you need to help me. I'm going to get sucked into the game. shaking her furiously. And then I found out it was a joke, and my heart was pounding a million beats per second. Like, it was just, the imagination of a child. Am I right?
Imagination of a
Am
child.
I right? And plus, my imagination was a little bit more than that because I had I had a ton of free time, so I would just think about stuff all day. And that is kind of what happened with that board game. So yeah, I was petrified.
Yeah.
I was petrified. But I'll ask you this. We've bantered enough and kind of, they're going to tell us, because I don't get why the curse stays. But besides that, is this going to be a good movie?
I think it looks like a really good movie. You got Jack Black, Chris Rock.
Kevin Hart.
That's what I was thinking.
Close enough for Johnny.
I'm sorry. I messed them up. My bad.
Kevin Hart. I missed the top 2 feet of my body.
And The Rock.
You got The Rock. You've got Jables. You've got Kevin Hart. And then you got Nebula.
Yes, Nebula.
You don't notice Nebula with red hair and without the blue.
I could not tell it was Nebula.
No, that's Nebula.
I forgot.
Ruby Roundhouse is Nebula.
Yeah. And it looks pretty good, actually. It looks like a lot of adventure, a lot of comedy to it.
Well, and here's the thing I like about it.
Yeah.
Because besides that point I made about their, the game whole thing, I'm going to look past that. And the thing I'm going to like most about this movie is the method acting we are going to get from The Rock.
No, definitely.
From Kevin Hart. From Jack Black.
From Jack
Nebula.
Black.
Jack Black, especially,
he has to pretend to be a teenage girl.
The two that I think will steal the show, and I'm saying that because that is me telling you guys we will review it when it comes out. My two early candidates, my people to watch for show stealers for that movie are Jack Black and The Rock, because The Rock, a guy who's been an athlete, played football in college, was a WWE wrestler, works out a lot, has huge guns.
Yeah.
He has to be like, okay, I am like that, but on the inside, I am a nerdy kid with allergies who plays video games and is a huge nerd.
Yeah.
So he has to be a 180, basically, of what he probably was growing up. Because I don't think The Rock was scrawny, because he even makes the line where he's like, I don't have my Claritin, and this looks like it has a ton of pollen in it. But Jables is the big one.
That's the big one.
Because like you said, there's the one line where he goes, I'm a fat, balding, middle-aged man. And it's like he's got to do that. There's the one line that I absolutely loved when he goes, I don't think I can handle this anymore. He's got to pretend he's a high school girl.
Yes.
Which, kudos to you. Kudos to you, Jack Black, because I couldn't do it.
No.
I could not do it. I mean, the Ruby Roundhouse character that Nebula's playing, hers is a little bit easier because she's just got to play a nerdy girl who is now ridiculously hot and can kick ass.
Yeah.
And Kevin Hart is basically playing an athlete who got shorter. Basically. Lost his muscles and got shorter.
Yeah.
That's like, those two are kind of like, it's going to be, your acting's going to be good, but really it's going to be The Rock and JB that are going to carry the show for me. Or that's what I'm thinking early.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with those two. I mean, Kevin Hart's will be a little bit different too, not to the level of theirs, because
he's going to bring the comedy.
He is, but he has to pretend to be, he has to be an athlete who lost everything athletic about him now.
So slow. It's another great line.
It is great.
But even that, run slow. He's the one where he's like, I lost the top 2 feet of my body.
Yeah, after the Claritin thing, it's like, I'm missing the top 2 feet of my body.
Yeah, and he, like, his is going to be that he lost all his athletic ability.
Yeah, and then it's just, I think it's going to be good. She just doesn't have a huge gap to fill in from one character to the other, like self to character.
No, she just got hotter and can kick ass.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
what she got. Ooh, firework.
Ooh.
As we are recording this July 2nd, 4th of July weekend. I expected a lot of those to happen this weekend. The little booms, the little boom, boom fireworks.
But it was about to happen.
But
bound.
The thing that I wanted to look at now from the trailer is, what do you think the story is going to be? Because from this trailer, we kind of got a little bit of it, where there's the part where The Rock goes, Now, I don't mean to warn. I gotta warn you guys.
I think I
can punch hard, and it's just him just punching guys. We also see this like green kind of emerald.
Yeah.
That I'm assuming is going to play a big part. What do you think the overall story is going to be for this? Because really, in the board game, it was easy. Reach the end without dying or without getting caught, and you win. A video game's a lot different, where we already saw early on, like in the trailer, where the guy comes up and is like, who's that? And I'm like, oh, it's the tutorial.
Yeah.
Like you would get in a video game.
That's true.
Get introduced to the video game, here's your tutorial, and it's usually
welcome
an
to
NPC.
Jumanji.
Exactly, like Professor Oak in Pokemon. What if you have to give a prediction for what the overall arc of this story would be? What would you say?
My guess would be that since the green orb-ish looking thing, I think it was more of an oval, like an egg-shaped thing.
I
whatever.
just didn't want to say ruby because rubies are usually red.
Yes, we'll call it something that's jade.
Okay,
jade is green.
Jade is green.
So
I
we'll
said
go with
emerald just
emerald.
because
There
that's
you go.
what I thought of.
Green is emerald's green too. Whatever it is.
Yeah. The stone looking, glass stone.
The green
thing.
stone thing.
The green stone.
Since they focused on it, I feel like it's gonna be kind of important. Maybe that's because it kind of reminds me of that middle thing from the Jumanji movie.
Okay.
In the middle of the board game. So maybe
Okay.
they have to get that to a certain point.
And then they win.
And then they win. But, like, I mean, look at all the obstacles. They have people chasing them on motorcycles, people he has to fight in the city. So maybe it's not just, oh, we have to go get it from here and put it back there. There's other people after it. They want it too. So if you can't get that thing from point A to point B in whatever reason, like whatever timing or whatever it's supposed to be, you lose the game.
And that was one thought I did have. I know at the beginning of this segment, I mentioned the whole board game to video game thing.
Yeah.
My whole grief with that is how, and maybe they explain this early on or throughout the movie, how does the curse go from the board game to the game?
That's what I'm questioning too.
That is my biggest grief with it. Because the thing that I like on the opposite side of them doing it as a video game compared to a board game, if they did it as a board game, two things would happen. One, they would be trapped into, they'd have limitations on what they could do.
Yeah.
Because a board game and a video game are two totally different mediums. The second thing is, if you did a board game, I would fear that it would fall into the trap of you are a straight reboot. Basically, of what are you giving to me that's new? What are you giving to me that's different from the original? And with this, it being a video game, I think it does that. More things that they can do, because in the board game, it was really get from point A to point B, you have obstacles around you.
Yeah.
This can be, you have the different dimensions of, like, think of video games now. They're like an overall story arc. There's a movie to it. So why not take that aspect, put it into movie form, and kind of feel like your actors are one of the players that you would be playing with. Also, on the other thing, looking at this and it being a video game, I look at it and go, okay, you're giving me something new. You are giving me a twist onto the Jumanji story. That is what you are doing, and it's not a straight reboot. It's not going to make me at the end, well, unless the acting's bad, and I don't think that it's going to be bad.
Yeah.
Because of the actors they have, and I like the actors they have. But unless it's like really bad acting, the overall movie itself is not going to make me think, yeah, I'll just watch the Robin Williams one.
Yeah.
Because they're doing something new.
Now, I agree with you on all the points except for one little thing is I would say if you stuck with the board game, it actually opens up things to you as opposed to closes them in.
Okay.
Because board games, just think about when you play any other board game, there's not a lot of restrictions for you. Like, other than the rules to the game, how things happen, like the specifics on how things happen, are kind of open for interpretation.
Board games are more by chance.
By chance,
Yeah.
Not just that, but like you can bring all the other stuff back from the movie and more. Whereas video games, if you've played that video game, and let's just say any video game to movie, let's put all of them on the board right now. You have, if it's going to be good, you kind of follow how the gameplay is.
Yeah.
Am I right?
Well, the point that I would think of is, and this is what popped into my head, for, let's say, I'll throw the video game BioShock out there.
Yeah.
If I play BioShock once and I put it away and I play it again, there might be a few differences. Like I might upgrade my weapons differently, but overall the game is going to be the exact same storyline. I am going to follow the same exact story. Whereas with a board game, because some of it has roles and some board games have drawing different cards and some board games have where it depends on what other players are also doing.
Exactly.
When I play, like, let's say, Risk, it's not going to be the same game every time. There will be differences.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. It's more open as opposed to more closed. It's like a loose, like a instead of writing the full script verbatim, it's like writing what you, like the first draft of a script. I want this, and this to happen. Take it away from there, as opposed to this is how it needs to go. That's it.
And with Jumanji, the only thing that would really change with that chance is in the role.
Yeah, exactly.
Because really it's getting from point A to point B, and the only thing that would change is what space you land on and what the little eye in the middle, what it read.
Exactly.
Really, that's all that would change when doing it. But I do like that they're going
I do
video
too.
game
Like I
model.
said, everything else I agree with you with is just the more closed to open.
Yeah,
the only thing I don't agree with you
I
with.
like that point, though, because I didn't think about that.
Yeah.
In the first time and really when I said limitations, it's, you get that chance, but it's all in the realm. And with the video game, it's more complexities that they can do. Like those guys that he's punching would be NPCs, would be the CPUs that you go up against when you're playing that video game. And really overall, to kind of get this back to the question one last time to answer it, I'm excited for this movie. After seeing the trailer, my first thought was the whole board game to video game curse thing. And I don't think, like, I was originally like, wow, I can't get over this. But then I started to, like, admit to myself, it's okay. I'm not going to be able to get over it. It doesn't mean it's going to be a bad movie because of it.
It's not going to change anything about the movie. It's going to be a good movie. I'm curious why it goes one to the other, but that's not great. Only thing I'm hoping for, a little homage to Van Pelt.
He was a hunter, right?
I would love if they had a little, like, just like even like his picture on a wall somewhere.
What if he makes a cameo?
That would be fantastic.
What if he makes because I was going to actually ask you to wrap this up.
Yeah.
Do we see any little Easter eggs from the original Jumanji?
My main Easter egg I would love to see is either something to like hint that Robin Williams, because he did get sucked in there, or Van Pelt, or both.
Or the monkey.
The monkey?
Do you remember the monkey?
I remember the monkeys.
The monkey that stole the cop car.
Oh, yeah.
The monkey that stole the cop car and totaled the cop car.
Yeah.
I think having that homage in there, the Van Pelt, would be cool. I don't know, though. Like, here's the thing I'll ask you.
Okay.
Are they going to have an homage to Robin Williams? Because he's got sucked into the board game. This is a different medium. This is a video game.
That's very true. Maybe not.
Maybe we won't have any references because it's a different medium.
Could be.
And everything is stuck with that board game. But any last thoughts before we move on into the Fantastic Four?
No, that's pretty much it. I think it's going to be a good movie. I still want to know if maybe you guys got some answers out there about how did it go from board game? How did the curse move from board game to video game?
Yeah, because I still don't know how that happened. But we will now switch the conversation over to you guys. Let us know down below in the description. I'm with Johnny. I'm excited for this. I'm hoping it's a good movie. I'm expecting it to be a good movie based solely off of the acting and the clips that I've seen from the main four actors, The Rock, Kevin Hart, Jables, and Nebula in the trailer that we've seen. But this is where you guys come in. Let us know down below. What do you guys think? Are you excited for it? Are you mad they're remaking Jumanji? Because there are that side of it. I've seen comments in comment sections that say, you're ruining my childhood. The one top comment for, I think it was one of the trailers was, this is a slap in the face to Robin Williams.
Robin.
And, like, I see that and I go, I don't know how it's a slap, unless it's, like, a terribly bad movie, but we won't know that until we actually see it. But let us know what you guys think down below in the comment section. But, Johnny, we are going to move on into our last topic, and this was one where we even got a comment on our last week's video.
Yes.
Where we talked about should Fox basically do the Sony thing, let the MCU have the Fantastic Four, work a deal so that basically Marvel can save them, because we talked about similar things where the Fantastic Four has been horrible. Should they kind of reboot it? We're going to go into that more right now. But
well, let's start with where the topic started off.
And that's where I was going to...
Okay.
They released 6
Fox.
mystery dates. Yeah,
Yeah.
Fox released 6 mystery Marvel movies. And if you haven't heard, these are what they are. June 7th and November 22nd in 2019. March 13th, June 26th, October 2nd in 2020. And March 5th in 2021. And the interesting thing is some of these dates have some competition to it.
Yeah.
The 2019 one in June will be going up against the Charlie's Angels reboot with Elizabeth Banks. You have the November 22nd one of that same year will be 5 days before the Frozen sequel.
Ooh.
You will get a review of that.
Yeah, you will.
I'm calling it right now, and I'm making him go to it because I didn't see the first one in theaters.
Oh, yeah, he's going to have to drag me to go see it.
Just dragging Johnny to go see it. And then the March 13th release date for, I want to say that's 2020, will be the same day as an untitled Pixar film.
Okay.
So that's the big competition that they have to deal with. But one of the things is, Deadpool 3, X-Force, New Mutant sequel. One of the things that people are mulling is one of these films could be a Fan-4-Stick reboot. Yeah, I said Fan-4-Stick because I want you to keep that in your mind because it was terrible.
It was
Horrible. Why? Like, I don't think they can come. One of these days should not be a Fantastic Four reboot.
I'm hoping it's not, but the one now that from our kind of tying in with our previous conversation, I can maybe see Fox doing that if they don't make the deal. Because guess what was that last date again?
The last one was June. No, it was March 5th, 2021.
2021. And when does Marvel get a hold of?
When do they end their whole cycle?
No. When does Disney Marvel get? What year does Disney Marvel get Fantastic Four if they don't make a reboot?
I want to say it's
2022, right?
I think it's 2022. Right before
what's
that.
more sticking it to them than just the year before? Then
Jesus.
So, I'm hoping they take the smart route and just let it go. And not for them, well, for them a little bit, but also for their fans, let it go and let them have it.
Let it go.
Back to that Frozen movie.
That's what they're gonna have to go up against. But I mean, I feel like rebooting it is not the 2021. Maybe I'd be like more accepting of it, but because it's so fresh in our minds, you do not need to touch the Fantastic Four, and the reason being is you have not given think of this. The first Fantastic Four films, the one with like Chris Evans and Jessica Alba, those ones were decent. I liked
they were
them
decent
as kids.
They were campy, but they were good.
But really think about it. You had Jessica Alba and you had Chris Evans who got poached by Marvel. Hey, this guy's a good actor. Be Captain America for us. And now he's Captain freaking America.
Exactly.
You had actors who could kind of drive a film. Fan-4-Stick, you had the guy from Whiplash, and you had Kate Mara, who was coming off of House of Cards, and probably to me the biggest name for me would be Michael B. Jordan. And how dare they make Michael B. Jordan look like crap, basically. And he's going to that's another one that, I just thought about that. Chris Evans, poached by Marvel. Who did he play? Johnny Storm. Michael B. Jordan
Poached by Marvel.
will be in Black Panther, played Johnny Storm. So basically, whoever
plays Johnny
Fox
Storm
gets to play Johnny Storm, Marvel just goes, hey, we like him, let's bring him in.
So far, that's the pattern.
Basically what that just hit me, and it kind of went like,
yeah, didn't think of that either. Yeah,
didn't even think about that. But right now, the 4 that people are expecting, Deadpool 3, because obviously Deadpool 2 is going to do good this June. We've got X-Force, which we've known about that. That's kind of why
after we get Cable.
That's why they're setting up Cable in their little Marvel-ish universe.
Yep.
New Mutants, depending how it goes. Like, if New Mutants is a total flop, I don't expect them to make a sequel.
Yeah, not a second.
Like,
If it doesn't do good.
and when I say total flop, I mean like Fan-4-Stick flop.
Yeah.
Like, if it does that bad, they might not make a sequel, but right now people are saying it could be a New Mutant sequel. And then, of course, another X-Men film to continue their timeline with what could be going on. And I look at these dates, and I think to myself, which one could be which movie? And to me, I feel like most of the movies that I kind of referenced might be sooner in that timeline. Like Deadpool 3 could be one of the 2020 dates.
Yeah, that would make sense.
You have New Mutants, I would put as a 2020 date, maybe 2021.
Yeah.
Because
if the
be,
first one does good.
That's going to be a 2018 film. So, yeah, I'd say a 2020 date for that. X-Force, they could do that in one of the 2019 movies because they haven't had one set up for that. And then an X-Men one. So, if I'm predicting right now, what I'm going to say is X-Force and a just further based X-Men film. Mm-hmm. Those will be in 2019. Then in 2020, we have 3 dates. It'll be New Mutant sequel, Deadpool 3, and then a mystery date. And then 2021 could possibly be, like you said, the Fan-4-Stick reboot.
Yeah, that's the one. That's the only one I would say is kind of like a sticking it to them type thing. And that hopefully Fox takes a smart, like I said, like I say it again, said it earlier, hope Fox takes the smarter route for them and for their fans. Hand it over.
Yeah, because I'm looking
make
at
make a deal, sign it over.
I'm looking at the Nerdist article that we referenced last week, and the quote says, and I quote, "Of course, Fox could wait 5 years and reboot again. The rights don't lapse over to Marvel until 2022.
Yep.
But the problem there is the most recent failure was the reboot that was already made, and that was Fan-4-Stick.
Yeah.
So do they, like, if you're 20th Century Fox, do you do it? Do you make the reboot 2021 and say just screw Marvel? This is just going to be a stick in the face to them, or a flip in the bird to them.
Now, me and a bunch of CEOs at Fox are two different people. Mm-hmm. I'm a Marvel fan, a huge Marvel fan, and that's the thing is I want the people who are doing it right to do it right. I would not. You guys did decent the first time, flopped the second time. Why would you take another chance that soon after it?
I wouldn't. And the thing is, and this is the biggest tricky part with it, is, and I'm not quite sure how the rights would work. Maybe someone in the comment section could help me out. But the one big question I would have is it, if they don't, how do I want to put this? Is it a use it or lose it situation where we either use it before 2020 and we get to keep Fantastic Four, or is it we don't do it and lose it to Marvel and Disney? Is it even if they use it in 2021, would they still keep the rights after that because they recently used it, or would those rights still go back over to Marvel and Disney in 2022?
See, not knowing the actual details of the contract, I couldn't say. If it's anything like before, like I think the thing
I want to say it was use it and you get to keep it.
Yeah, it's either basically a use it or lose it type situation.
Yeah.
From what my understanding was of what I read about it, is if they don't use it by a certain amount of years, like that, if they reuse the rights, they have it.
Yeah.
After a certain amount of time, it's kind of the same idea behind how we got the name Captain Marvel. Mm-hmm. DC used to have a character named Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
The rights, they kept the rights, didn't keep the rights at some point. Marvel snatched it up. We got a character named Captain Marvel. You guys had to rename him Shazam.
It makes more sense.
It does.
Makes more sense to have Captain Marvel in Marvel.
Yeah, but I'm just saying it's kind of like the same idea. DC didn't keep it. they went kind of like into the free zone. Marvel snatched it up, took the rights to it.
The like free domain zone.
Yeah, free domain. It went to free domain zone.
Okay, so yeah,
That would be my guess on how it works.
I could see them being dicks. I could totally see them being dicks and just saying screw
especially
it.
if like, oh, Deadpool does great, Logan did fantastic. If the X-Men do even better than they did before, if they start like they're getting kind of cocky, say, oh no, we're gonna do the Fantastic Four. We're gonna keep it from you again, Marvel. And then again, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe the contract says you guys have up to 2022 to do something with it. After that, it's definitely Disney Marvel's. I don't know how their contract states it 100%.
And I mean, right now I'm looking at this. So X-Men First Class was 2011. Then you had Days of Future Past was 2014. Then it was Apocalypse was, what year was that? Was that 2016? 2016. So really between between the X-Men movies so far, we've had, so 2016, this one will be, okay, so this one will be the one where it's same thing, like a 2-year thing. So 3 to 2 years between them for the Marvel movies. Because the only reason why I'm thinking that in my head, actually it's going to be a year, it's this November that it comes out. Dude, 2 of those dates get sucked up by X-Men movies. Think about this. 2011, Days of Future Past.
Yeah.
Then you have 2014, or First Class, pardon me. Days of Futures Past in 2014. That was kind of like the middle ground was, oh, let's see. Oh, wow, First Class actually did well. Maybe we got something going here. Days of Future Past. Then 2 years later, they hit us with a Apocalypse. Now, 1 year later, they're hitting us with Dark Phoenix, which is the Dark Phoenix saga. I said that 2019, I could see that being the next X-Men movie, 2 years. Do they do a similar thing and go, you know what? 2021 is going to be an X-Men movie.
It could be that too. It could very well be like, hey, we're going to put one out this year, out next year, and then we got one 2 years after that. I mean, it depends on what they want to go with. There's a ton of different factions of the X-Men group. There's, just off the top of my head, and I got a list in front of me a little bit, but this one...
Hit me with some. Hit me with some which you would like to do, because I think we're under...
Well...
I just want to say this. I think we're under the same assumption or the same answer of, don't reboot the Fantastic Four.
No, you and I are under that same thing.
What I think Fox should do is give us what you're working best with, and that's the X-Men universe.
Yeah.
Let Marvel have the Fantastic Four, and you guys can just rock the X-Men universe.
Exactly.
And that's where you can get X-Force. You can give us Deadpool. You can give us the X-Men movies like you are. But what are some other factions that they could do if they go that route and say, you know what, you can have Fantastic Four, we're sticking with the X-Men.
I'm going to do less of them ones I'd like to see, because they're kind of sticking with the...
think they'll see,
well,
right?
No, I'm not even going to do that. I'm just going to do ones that they could potentially do. We can do the Brotherhood of Mutants, which is the one led by Magneto. Here's one I'm just thinking off the top of my head. Alpha Flight.
Okay.
Wolverine's original group.
It looks like, too... that I saw an article that there could be an Alpha Flight teaser or something with Alpha Flight in Deadpool 2.
There you go. So we could potentially get... Because I don't know if Wade Wilson was part of that, but I know Wolverine... I think that was his...
Wade Wilson's kind of everywhere, though.
Well, there's the other one I was going to bring up to you, if I can remember. I just want to read it off... Where was it?
If Johnny can find it.
Wow, why can't I remember the name of it? Weapon X program. There was a team that came off of that, and Deadpool was one of them. And what they said, and what I think you remember the same article, they don't really want to recast Wolverine right now after such a pivotal character.
You can't.
Not for a while. So why not?
We got to forget about.
So hey,
first.
Why not do kind of not the Weapon X specifically, but the program, and do like Wade Wilson.
So like
Sabretooth,
the background behind it, and the other projects they were working on.
No, I mean Wade Wilson, Sabretooth, Silver Fox, and maybe even have Omega Red in there.
You could.
That'd be pretty cool.
You could have Omega Red, because that's one that I know that he is not, that's not the first name or the first time his name has popped up on this podcast.
No,
either.
It's not.
But yeah, I believe, and I'm looking for it right now. It's right here. Deadpool set photo features an Alpha Flight Easter egg.
There you go.
So there will be an Easter egg for Alpha Flight in the Deadpool 2 movie. And it's the, so it's the taxi. On top of the taxi, it says Alpha Flight on it.
Oh, that's funny.
So that's a little tease. It's not like the exact team, but they could, like you said, they could bring them back, and they don't even have to use Wolverine for that.
Exactly.
They could just make it like not an homage, but kind of like a tongue-in-cheek reference.
Exactly.
To
like, hey,
Wolverine
was part of this, but we're not gonna cast Wolverine because it's too soon.
Also, and then correct me if I'm wrong. If they did a Brotherhood of Mutants thing, could they also do a like House of M type thing?
They could probably.
Or maybe am I thinking too much into the like too no, not relevant. That's not the word.
It's not. I wouldn't
too soon of a comic series to use.
No, I wouldn't say it's too soon to use. I mean, anything that's out there is viable source. So, I mean, maybe do a Brotherhood of Mutants and then have the next one be a version of House of M, or maybe like do one. Yeah, because you have the X-Men. We're forming the X-Men right now. Yeah. The actual X-Men that you and I remember.
Right now, we're in the 90s X-Men.
Exactly. We're going to be in the 90s X-Men. So why not have maybe us do Fox. Why not?
We're a part of it. We give them the money.
Exactly. We give you guys the money. We can throw some hints, some ideas out there.
You don't have to take them, but we'll throw them.
Exactly. I'll throw them as far as I can. That's one of them sports ball references.
Yeah, because we all know Johnny loves them sports balls. Hit me with one of them.
So why not do a introduction to the Brotherhood of Mutants, because now we've had the split between, well, this next one, maybe we can have that Magneto split back off because now he's all of a sudden part of the group. Brotherhood of Mutants, X-Men on this side, and then do a House of M one, and then that would be another one to throw out there. Just don't touch Fantastic Four. That's what we're saying.
Yeah, and I
take all these ideas, write them down, take them as your own. Don't give us credit. I don't care.
I totally think, and this will be my last thoughts on it, that Fox should just do what's working.
Yeah.
They are rocking the X-Men franchise. And yeah, I know that the previous X-Men films really get shit on, especially I am still nervous.
The Final Phoenix one?
I'm still nervous for this
interpretation of the Phoenix.
For this Dark Phoenix saga, because let's be honest, the last time Fox tried to do it, it was horrible. And I did not want to. I was just like, oh, why do we have to go through this? Like, that was horrible. I love the Dark Phoenix saga. Like, when I watched the 90s cartoon, or that's when I watched it because that's when I was alive, it made me want to, like, I was just like, that is fucking great TV. Yeah. Like, and it kept me enticed. And the one thing I want to correct myself is I said November 2nd because of the article on superhero hype. Okay. It's November 2nd of next year. Okay. Because that date was running in my head, and I went, no, they're not putting Dark Phoenix Saga up against Thor Ragnarok.
That would be a bad idea.
That would be a horrible idea. So it's next year.
I'm sorry, that would be a bad idea.
So it's next year. So 18. So yeah, if it's 2018, 2 years later would be 2020. Maybe if they waited, I don't think with the Steam they don't wait 3 years. So that 2020 first date, you can't fit 2 X-Men movies in there. I was trying to see how you could, or if you could, but you absolutely couldn't.
No.
But any final thoughts on this before we wrap up the entire show?
No. You know what? Just stick with X-Men. Stick with X-Men. Be smart. Make the deal. Please,
make it happen.
Fox, please make the deal.
Sony did it, and Sony's going to get paid.
Yeah, I mean,
because from what I hear,
good reviews on Spider-Man right now.
From what I hear, I watched the Kind of Funny guys, and Greg Miller loved it. Yeah, absolutely loved it, and because of him and his reaction to Spider-Man: Homecoming and his non-spoiler part, I am hyped for it even more, and I can't wait to go see it with you on Thursday.
Marvel's hitting it on the head. Just give it to them and let them have that universe. Maybe use of the word mutant might be okay.
Could you imagine that? Well,
it would explain.
Think of this. Think of this.
Yeah,
this is something off the top of my brain.
I'm mocking you just a little bit.
Off the top of my brain here, Fox could actually gain something. From Marvel.
Yeah.
Let them use Scarlet Witch.
There you go.
Magneto's daughter.
Exactly.
Am I wrong?
Let them use Scarlet Witch.
Let the X-Men universe have Scarlet Witch in it.
I mean,
then they can throw Magneto. Oh, they can have Scarlet Witch be in there.
I'm gonna write out your deal right now with Disney Marvel.
You're gonna get the contract going.
I'm gonna get the contract started for them.
Okay.
They can hash out the little details. I'm no lawyer.
Like the money. The money.
Yeah, you guys can figure out the money stuff. I don't do that. Give them Fantastic Four, the use of the name mutants, and you guys can maybe go back and forth with the use of Wolverine, because you guys can't use it right now, but if you send it over to a new universe...
But the Avengers...
The Avengers with Wolverine, he was part of that group too.
Think of this.
Yes.
And this is the last thought I have, or else we'll go all day.
Yeah.
Here's what you do.
Okay.
It's a fair trade in my mind.
Don't take my contract away.
Marvel gets Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
And the use of Wolverine. No.
And mutants.
And mutants.
And the word mutants.
This might not be a fair deal. What you get in return, some cash considerations.
Cash is a good consideration.
Scarlet Witch.
The use of her.
Not her.
Not the full, like, Marvel can't use her anymore. Hey, you guys can use her too, just like you guys have Quicksilver.
You know what? I'm going to actually do one better for you.
Oh, yeah?
I am going to say you can... So here's what Marvel gets.
Okay.
Mutants, Wolverine, and they get the...
Fantastic Four.
Fantastic Four. What Fox gets is first they get Scarlet Witch.
Okay.
They get Vision. Because think about what you could do.
Now remember, the use of and not the actual
use of,
rights.
Because think about this.
Okay.
They can use Scarlet Witch, have the Magneto daughter thing, have the Vision thing, because isn't Cable the son of Scarlet Witch and Vision?
No, Cable's the son of Scott and Jean.
That's right. Okay.
Nope.
Screw that then.
Sorry.
I was spitting off the... I'm the DC guy.
I'm sorry. I pulled the plug on the DC guy's
I'm the
contract.
DC guy.
Let me do the Marvel contracts.
Doesn't Vision and Scarlet Witch, though, have a kid?
They have a kid. I don't remember who it is, but I know they have a kid. I don't remember.
Help us out.
Down below.
Help us out down below.
Remind me.
He should know this. He's the Marvel guy.
Hey, remind me down below. I can't remember everything all at once.
You bring the Marvel side. I usually bring the DC guy.
Oh, I'm sorry. What lapse of ideas do we have for Wonder Woman?
A lot.
Yeah, exactly.
We had a lot.
Mr. DC.
I mean, it's Wonder Woman. Not many people know about Wonder Woman, but it was amazing.
Give me crap about not knowing.
You, DC.
I'm sorry. So he doesn't know about Wonder Woman, and I have to know.
You have to know about Scarlet Witch.
Which and Vision's son.
You do.
Or daughter. It's daughter.
We're gonna wrap up the Rick and Johnny podcast now. And thank you guys for either watching on YouTube or listening on Blog Talk Radio, iTunes, or Stitcher. Let us know down below, what you think about anything we talked about. What are the movies going to be? Should they reboot the Fantastic Four? And also,
you can tell us we're wrong. That's fine.
Let us know Scarlet Witch and Vision's child, because I'm a DC guy. He's blanking on it. We need some help. We're calling.
I'll give you a hint. It's their daughter.
We're calling out the bat symbol for you guys. The bat symbol has been called for you guys to help us. But I want to thank you guys for checking us out today. And as always, have a good day, everybody.